ga yadda na soma wasan kura da barista Aisha wajen nan ba ku kwantar da hankali.
Let's step back. Yarinyar nan tana buƙatar justice.
Wallahi tallahi wannan ita ce dama ta ƙarshe zan ba makarantar nan.
Sai mun haɗa court.
We, the practitioners in the industry, were part and parcel of the block that formed the Kano Census Board.
Yeah, I mean, someone,
you know,
I think that in an interview that I
Yeah.
was actually, which is kind of interesting, that the census board was engineered by
filmmakers.
practitioners,
Exactly.
filmmakers,
Yeah.
in order to create a room for dialogue,
Yes.
which I found very ingenious
Yeah,
because
so
in most
when-
societies it's the other way around.
We had issues, you know. Let me give you an example of the Mariam Hiana issue. Mariam Hiana was one of the top actresses we had in Kannywood, who went on her own, you know, had some fun with her boyfriend, and they recorded it. It was not a film set. It has nothing to do with films. But when she became big as an actor, somebody decided to leak, out to the public, their internet, and that became the Mariam Hiana scandal. Now, the ulama didn't want to believe that was not film. As far as they're concerned, you know, Kannywood had, you know, gone into
Violated
blue
the
films,
rule, yeah.
So we needed badly a robust interactive forum where we can explain to them so they understand us. Now it is in the search for this, connection for understanding that the idea of starting a census board, you know, became very, very germane. Because we needed a point where we can all come together. And we had asked for Mopicon, you know, a council that would give filmmaking in Nigeria some foundation where you can have do's and don'ts. That's the code of ethics.
Ethics, yes.
In Nigeria. The government didn't give us that at the center. So we had to ask for some law that would support some code of ethics under the Kano state government, because it had to be backed by law.
Yeah. If you know your boundaries,
exactly,
you know what,
exactly.
and then that can help.
That can help.
And even when you are going to, go
Exactly.
beyond this, you
So
do it
the
in a
board-
refined way. Yeah.
The board essentially, you know, created, you know, that for us. It for the practitioner, that can safeguard you, because the government cannot just come and say you have violated the law. You must have somewhere to look at and say, where did I violate the law?
Yeah.
You know, so the ulama had to contribute, we had to contribute, and eventually the board was created. It may be Kano Census Board, but it affects the entire culture. And I will explain why it is so. I have done earlier. The market, you may make your films in Jos or in Kaduna or Sokoto, where you can't sell from Jos or Kaduna or Sokoto. You must go to Kano. You know, and the bulk of the, you know, audiences are either Kano-based or connected with Kano. If your film is banned from coming to Kano or going to Kano market, your film can't go anywhere.
Financially, you are
So
destroyed,
Kano
yeah.
became like, the centric point where distillation, you know, happens. Now, even if you release your film outside Kano, which many have tried, Kano Census Board has the power to arrest you if that film is sold in Kano.
in Kano.
So you don't have to do it from Kano, even if you do it elsewhere, as long as the film has gone to
Kano.
the people in Kano. Kano Census Board can reach out to you. So it became, like I said, you know, a point where we were doing what we call self
Censorship.
than somebody, coming with a huge sledgehammer to say, do it this way or don't do it that way. So that was how we started this thing in Kano. Of course, it wasn't all this good.
Yeah, that's what I want to say. I mean, there
of
will be
course.
some people who would
Exactly.
want to be
Along the
radicals.
line, we had a radical from the ulama who saw that as huge power and decided the moment there was change in government in Kano, decided all he wanted was the census board. The government then, appointed him as the chairman or DG of the census board, and he used it to stifle creativity. From Kano and even beyond. Many filmmakers had to
relocate.
Yes, they had to divest, park their businesses from Kano and move to other places. And it was, I was the president of MOPAN then. We had to take him to court.
So you had a lot on your hands.
So I was in court. I was battling the census board that we created, for a very long time as a result of that. So, but then we also became wiser as filmmakers. We realized that we can't leave politics to politicians.
Yeah.
We need to get involved, and we need to use our own to protect what we created that can harm us. Reason why today the person in charge of the census board, Abba Al-Mustafa, is one of the well-known actors that had been with us in all this struggle that we push to represent us there. So that is how it is.
Which is kind of good, because while not violating the rule, it would make sure that at least artistic freedom.
Yeah.
Because again, the economic aspect, which is kind of interesting, because the self-consciousness about the economy, what it contributes to the economy, it's very important, and it's there. Now, I was thinking about, while talking about this, I was thinking about your role in Sons of the Caliphate.
Yeah.
For me, that movie dispels a lot of myth, demystifies a lot of things about the North.
Yeah.
Because one must admit that there is a lot of ignorance about what happens in the North. And that, of course, the idea that parents can be educated, to change, that life is not static. So using your role in Sons of the Caliphate as an example, so it appears to me that most of the roles you play are progressive in a way. There to teach, to educate. So what informs that?
Let me put it this way.
Yeah.
I try to become, a mirror, to show that the North is not as static, as many people would want to see it. Yeah. The North is conservative. There's no doubt about it. But the world is changing, and the change around the world is affecting, everybody. The North is also battling, with itself. There is, an intra-battle, among the different progressive and conservative forces, within the North. Now, I wanted as an actor to express, to show how this battle is happening and how we win sometimes, we don't sometimes. It didn't start with Sons of the Caliphate. I remember as far back as when we did Sugar Niger.
Yes.
Sugar Niger, I played the role of Solomon, and ordinarily, Solomon is not a Hausa man.
Yeah.
But I discussed with my director then, B. Bandele, late.
Yeah.
Said, because he understood Hausa as well, said, B, can I introduce Hausa, onto this character? I said, why? I explained to him, and he said, fine, perfect. I decided to change some of the dialogues into Hausa because, for one thing, I wanted the message that we were sending to penetrate beyond the initial audiences that we targeted to other audiences, and it worked. So, Sense of the Caliphate also gave me an opportunity for us to show that the North is, the culture of the North is dynamic, it is changing, and very fast too. And that politics and traditional institutions, do play key roles in shaping, people's views and choices at elections. And the fact that there are good people in every society and there are bad people, and there's always conflict between good and evil, in every climate.
Every climb. And that
Yes.
is what actually
Yeah.
is central to most, I mean, a lot of, even in the West,
Yeah.
even though people don't talk about it, it's a battle between the forces of good and evil.
Exactly. Yeah.
The story, told in different ways and so on. Now, but, what would you say, and which I think is a very important point in terms of, since we have different streaming outlets, the YouTube, the Netflix, and so on and so forth. So how does that impact Kano and then Kannywood, generally speaking? I mean, when individuals can produce their stuff and put it on YouTube.
Okay, let me say that incidentally, I'm probably one of the few that had appeared on Netflix, as an actor, more than any other person in this part of the country. I have worked on so many projects that found their ways to platforms like Netflix.
Yes.
And the other one. Well, let's just restrict it to Netflix. And I've seen why Netflix, would accept certain projects and reject some, and this is mainly a Nollywood thing. I had tried to see how stories from the North can also make inroad to Netflix. Netflix is a very important platform among all the platforms that are offered, on the World Wide Web. Netflix is probably one of the highest investors, in our industry. It does pump in a lot of money, and so production values also get higher when you're dealing
with
Netflix.
Yeah.
I wanted that badly. But there's also a more democratic platform like YouTube.
Yes.
In the sense that you don't need, huge money. And even the technical specs were not as high as that of Netflix. You can also, do your own thing and look for your own markets, utilizing YouTube. And the whole world is your market. So you're not really thinking in terms of some trans-Saharan trade routes anymore.
Yeah.
You have the whole world, open to you.
Yeah.
So these are some of the things that Kannywood is also facing today. Successfully, Kannywood is able to display or to upload its content on YouTube today than anywhere else.
Yeah.
When we say 22 films were banned, just a few weeks ago, it clearly shows that there are more than 22 successful films, that are right now riding
on YouTube.
But
I'm thinking about this, the moral entrepreneurs.
How
do they police them?
This is exactly, where we're going to.
Yeah.
That clearly says that those boundaries we were talking about as defined by the ulama in the North, are not going to be as essential as they should if we're looking at a local market. And so we had producers that wanted, a more globalized market than a local one. And the the point where we had to settle this issue recently is to agree that even if your movie is produced in the US, released in the US, as long as people in Kano watch it, you are bound to respect,
The
those
culture, those boundaries.
cultural norms and values. But it's going to be a difficult thing. It's not going to be an easy thing to do. The world, like I said, is changing very fast.
It is changing.
We, as filmmakers, have done our own, but our own children have gone to school.
Yes.
Most of them outside this country. Most of them, they are looking for markets that are much more bigger than the markets we covered. And
so that means they have to do certain things that would
yes,
sell
yes,
across the borders.
Yeah, they will keep trying.
Yeah.
Well, you see, the more you want to talk about this, the more you want to talk about Islam and the world.
The world.
This is clash of ideas, clash of ideologies.
Ideologies.
And I think this will continue forever.
Yeah.
Certain cultures or certain beliefs, came up with their own set of values, and they would want to protect those values no matter what.
No matter what.
Others are so laissez-faire in their approach to,
to
the
issues,
world.
to
Exactly.
topics and everything.
So you have LGBTQ and other issues.
Yeah, which again,
some people are saying should be allowed to reign. Now this clash will continue, for as long as.
Yeah. So, as a way of rounding up, one important question: I want to know your take, because I know you've used, and perhaps because of your training, because of your own ideology, you produced one particular movie, which I think is a kind of advocacy. You've used the platform to advocate for certain things that are really, really helpful to humanity, even beyond the region. I mean, like what you did about HIV/AIDS, and I mean, that's the benefit to humanity is not quantifiable. So that raises this question. Do you believe in the power of the film to effect changes?
Oh, I do. I do. Right from the beginning, I knew that as a filmmaker, you have this huge power to change. The messages you want to send across are messages that are bound to affect people. When we do feasibility studies, before we even start, cranking the camera, we try to reach the widest of audiences. And in wanting to reach audiences, you want to send certain messages. So I see myself as one that has the power to change the world. So help me God. But yeah, you referred to Hafsa.
Yeah.
Hafsa I did, in conjunction with the BBC World Service Trust. And Hafsa fundamentally took the issue of HIV/AIDS, discrimination, the way it is transmitted and so on. And I did a movie, on that, advocacy essentially. And it was hugely successful. It got awards. And
that's actually one of the very successful.
Exactly.
And,
I did all that. When we were about to work on Hafsa, 3 producers were invited in that meeting. Tunde Kelani from the south, myself, and one other person from the east that I can't remember his name. We sat, with the organization, BBC World Service Trust, and we were talking about how to sell, what we call hard sell messages then. HIV was a
Go area.
no-go area for us in the North. Actually, it's a no-go area for the whole of Africa.
Yeah, that's what I want to say. Yeah.
Yeah, so
People believe that if you have it here, because
Yeah.
it is,
so we had to craft messages, craft a way that would make our people understand first that this issue is going to be with us for the rest of our lives. It's not something you can just wish away. You can't, sweep it under the carpet. You must find a way of living with it. Secondly, the misconceptions around that message, were, unnecessary.
yeah,
If
they
you-
they actually create more
Exactly.
problems.
So if you understand what the issues are, there are ways you can handle them within the cultural space that you operate. You don't have to go outside. You don't have to do it the way somebody else is doing it. And issues such as the use of condoms, which were also no-go areas, became essential because you have to talk about certain things because certain things happen behind closed doors in the bedrooms.
Yes.
So somebody must talk about those issues.
Things, yes.
So and we did it well. I have done so many apart from Hafsa. I have worked with WHO
Yeah.
in working on projects that deliver on certain mandates and issues that are very sensitive, very fragile with our community. I think I am gifted with coming up with ways to address those sensitive issues without attacking the sensibility of the people.
But then, hasn't there been pushbacks? Have you
Oh, definitely.
had any,
Hafsa,
Yeah.
even Hafsa went to court, with the census board. The Kano census board, quickly, arrested some distributors because Hafsa was distributed in Kano. And like I told you, I was part of those that set up the census board, but we had to go to court, in defense of our distributors,
That's
on
the question,
Hafsa. So this push and pull is a continuous thing.
Yeah, but again, I asked that question for one reason.
Mm.
You have dignity.
Yeah.
You are respected. I mean, this is for it's something else where this is an important movie maker or but people despise him. But how do you manage to toe these thin lines to defend interests that you feel that should be defended and still retain your respect within the community? Because I think for me that's a very important thing.
Well, in my social media handle, I
Yeah.
describe myself as a local, change maker in a local environment that works on a globalized, platform. I see, this as a definition that can easily say who I am.
Yes.
I believe in being who I am. I accept that I'm a Muslim. I accept that I'm from the Hausa extraction. I accept that I'm a northerner. I accept that our community, has, pride, plenty of pride in the values we hold dear. But I also believe there are shared common values that we hold on to that you find in other cultures. We cannot be a closed community. We must accept that we are not an island, that we are we have neighbors. And if neighborhood, as defined by Islam, is 40 houses left, right, 40 houses in front and behind, we can say 40 nations left, right, 40 nations in front and behind is the whole world. The whole world is your neighborhood. And there are the major challenge between my community and the larger world is communication. Is communication. People would want to come with alacrity, and want to impose things on other people. These are some of the things we kept having in Nigeria. I remember somebody wanting to make a film on Sharia when Sharia was launched in the northern part of Nigeria. And all they want to do is to show that if Sharia comes, they will start cutting off people's arms, flogging girls in the market and things like that. I understood Sharia. I understood what the politicians wanted to say about Sharia. And I found that really insulting. If you don't understand a culture, don't be in a hurry to want to, talk about that culture until you have proper understanding of it, or until you have people that understood it that are working with you.
Ignorance.
Ignorance. On the other hand, I have traveled around the world. I found myself in different places, and I have seen how, you don't have to be a Muslim to be a very decent human being. You can be whatever you want to be, and you are likely to be one of the best people I will want to, stay with because of who you are. So you can't just decide that certain people are good or bad based on either their color or where they come from or, how they talk and so on and so forth. So this communication needs to be bridged. We need a bridge. And in most cases, I serve as the bridge. I'm likely to sit in a forum where somebody would say, Muslims are radicals, they are extremists, they want to do this, they want to do that. Now, I'm there not to represent Muslims, but I'm likely to say, no, they are not.
Yeah.
No, they are not. You don't know them. You don't understand them. If you do, you won't say that. So you find me in defense of my community on one hand. But then the person will say, here we are wanting to make, girl child go to school, and these people say, no, you don't, you're doing it the wrong way. There are other ways to do it. And the girl will go to school, and the Almajiri system can be addressed. And all these issues you're talking about can be done, but you need to understand the culture. And that way, I serve as somebody who will do something, and the ulama, who are probably at the extreme end of this side, would look at it and say, this young man he's smart, he's doing it right. So I still gain my respect in my community. But the other side too would see that we've been able to send a message and there is no backlash. Sometimes we do get, some, resistance and pushback. And where I believe in what I have done, I will stand by it and I will go along with every other person in defense of it. So this way, I've been able to shape who I am and probably become who I am today.
Well, that's a very, very way to conclude our discussion. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
This is honestly, it's been a very, very wonderful discussion.
Thank you.
And lastly, I want to thank you for your humility too.
Thank you.
Because we have known you for for forever, and then you are still the same. And thank you for granting this at
Thank
a
you.
very short time.
Thank you very much.
You know,
Thank you.
God bless you. I
Thank
appreciate
you for coming to my house.
Oh, my pleasure. My pleasure.